With a month and a half left before the draft, we are starting to get a whole bunch of mock drafts, and Daniel Jeremiah just dropped his 3.0. So I want to take a look at the players that went before the New York Jets, who the Jets selected at number 7, and what players were still left on the board after our selection. Jets, Jets, Jets! All right, gang, welcome in. I'm excited to get into this. This is Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft 3.0. Now, there's not as much of a connection with Daniel Jeremiah and the Jets as there was with Joe Douglas, because he used to be a roommate with Joe Douglas. We're scouted together back in Baltimore. Is that what it was? My brain's all fried. I don't remember what the connection was. But I still think Daniel Jeremiah is one of the more knowledgeable mock drafters when it comes to the NFL draft. So, like I said, he dropped his 3.0. Let's take a look at all the players that were taken before the New York Jets, how the board fell to us, and who I think the Jets should be making their selection at number 7. First up, we have the Titans selecting Cam Ward. This has basically been the number 1 overall pick for some time now, whether it's the Titans making it or another team trading up into number 1 to get Cam Ward. He's seemingly the quarterback 1 in this entire class. I think it's kind of the consensus at this particular point in time. I like him a lot. If he was there for the Jets at number 7, I would have to strongly consider it. But, obviously with the bring on of Justin Fields, that's the way the Jets are more than likely going to go this year. And I don't want to trade up to number 1. Cam Ward's not that level of prospect for me, but for the Titans, I think it makes a lot of sense for them here. At number 2, Abdul Carter goes to the Browns. This is the edge rusher from Penn State. The dude is an absolute freak. Now, they did just sign Myles Garrett to a record-setting $40 million a year contract, so maybe they decide to go Travis Hunter instead of double-dipping at edge rusher, but Myles Garrett is starting to get up there in age a little bit. Was he late 20s at this point? So adding another freak edge rusher, it would be impossible to try and pass on this team if you're the Cleveland Browns. Either way, they're going to get a really, really good player at number 2. I don't think they're going to go quarterback. I really don't. They got Deshaun Watson under contract for the next at least 2 years because of the cap hit ramifications. Even though I don't think he's their future, I think they might take a swing in the second round on someone like Jalen Milroe or maybe a Jackson Dart or something like that if he falls. Number 3, you got the Giants taking Shedeur Sanders. And now my Giant fan friends seem to be kind of all over the map on this particular pick because I think they hope that he's going to be a really good quarterback, obviously. But I kind of get the feeling that Sanders is either going to go 3 to the Giants, 6 to the Raiders, or not until the second round. So it could be another Daniel Jones type situation where they crazy overdraft a guy that would have been there maybe a little bit later. But the connection with him and Malik Neighbors, it was the offseason or the beginning part of the offseason where he had the Giants cleats on and the excitement around it. I think the Giant fan base or the Giant team in general, the foundation they have, could suit Shedeur Sanders well in New York. I don't think it's a city that's the problem. I think it's more so the Jets. If they were to make that pick, I don't know if that would go over well. At number 4, he has Travis Hunter going to the Patriots. This makes a lot of sense. The dude can be either an elite cornerback or a wide receiver for them. I think they'll have packages in both capacities. I don't know which way they're going to ultimately play him. I would think wide receiver to start. I wouldn't advise playing him offense and defense all the time. That seems like you'd probably get burnt out pretty quickly. Not looking forward to going against a division rival with that kind of talent over there. Jacksonville, number 5, selects Jalen Walker. He says, combining him with Josh Hines-Allen and Travon Walker, these are 2 top-end edge rushers that they've drafted in recent years, would give all 3 players a chance on passing downs to go after the pass rusher. They're saying Walker would probably kick inside on passing downs, which is just nuts. That is a lot of heat coming through the middle there. I would expect Jacksonville to go with Mason Graham. That's kind of been the player I've seen consistently mocked to them. But who knows? Edge rushers, if they're getting $40 million a year like the Browns just gave to Myles Garrett, maybe there's just something to be said for just having a consistent pipeline of these guys in the hopper. At number 6, he's got the Raiders going with running back Ashton Jeanty, which this is the highest I've seen Jeanty go, I think, at this point, without some kind of trade-up happening. Usually I project it like the Cowboys coming up to the Jets pick or something along those lines. Raiders, I've seen Will Johnson, I've seen Ted McMillan go there in that spot. So for Jeanty to go in front of us, I don't want the Jets to take a running back, so that's one bonus player that can go in front of us that helps an additional talent fall down to the Jets. Now, before I get into the Jets pick, I do just want to thank the sponsor of this video. Does anybody feel like March is just madness? There's so much noise coming from everywhere, whether it's the birds chirping as spring wakes up or the constant bombardment of trash from my television, from my work to my workouts. Everything is getting interrupted. That was until I found the everyday earbuds by Raycon. With active noise cancellation capable of drowning out the most maddening of sounds, Raycon's everyday earbuds are your quieting sidekick for the gym, work, or phone calls, offering premium audio that goes where you go. Their latest model is better than ever with 32 hours of battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once. Speaking of battery life, Raycon's quick charge function in just 10 minutes of charging yields 90 minutes of battery life. I have really enjoyed my earbuds. I got this green color. It looks really sleek, reminds me of our Jets, and I use them all the time, whether I am vacuuming, cleaning the house, or just trying to drown out a little bit of the child noise that is in my house as I'm trying to get some stuff done. And from a shake test perspective, these things do not fall out of your ears. I have really liked it. I've really enjoyed it. If you guys want to help support the channel, help support the sponsors of the channel, head over to buyraycon.com/JetsTalk to get 20% off their best-selling everyday earbuds, brought to you by Raycon. So at number 7, Daniel Jeremiah has a few different guys still on the board for the New York Jets. You have Mason Graham, who fell, Ted McMillan, who fell. You got Warren, the tight end out of Penn State, who's still there. And you got Armand Membou. Now, he has the Jets selecting right tackle Armand Membou out of Missouri for this selection. And I'll be honest, based on how this draft class looks and how free agency sort of went down with us losing Morgan Moses, I don't mind this selection whatsoever. And this is me coming from a spot of like, I don't want to use a top 2-round pick on an offensive lineman after investing so many premium picks in offensive line in the past. Olu, first-round pick. John Simpson, well, free agent, not a first-round pick. Tittman, second-round pick. AVT, first-round pick, plus the 2/3 that we used to go up and get him. So now you're using an additional top 10 pick on an offensive lineman. It's a lot of assets going into the offensive line. But if you look how the Lions handled their offensive line, they just built an absolute freak show of a unit, and they run the ball. You want to utilize Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and build off play action, use Justin Fields' legs. I think this is a good move. He's a consistent right tackle for his 3 years at Missouri. The Jets, even if Fields is not the guy, are going to need to solve that offensive line problem. So at the very least, you have all these guys gelling together, and they're all young. They're all under, I think, 26 years old across the offensive line. So if you can keep this unit together for like the next 10 years, that would be absolutely beautiful. Armand is, I think he measured in, 6'4", like 320, 325 or something like that. He ran a sub 5-second 40-yard dash at the combine, which is bonkers. I think the only 2 guys to do that at the tackle position are Tristan Wirfs and Trent Williams, I think was the other one. 2 very good offensive tackles. So that at least bodes well for him. Not to mention some of the highlights are him like just dog walking some of the better edge rushers in this class. You had, was it Shamar Stewart? I think it was Shamar Stewart. Just absolutely buries him into the ground. I'll throw some highlights up here while I discuss them. Pro Football Focus grade 90.6, pass blocking grade 86.6, run blocking grade 87.6. Now, Pro Football Focus, you like it, dislike it, neither here nor there, but those are some pretty solid numbers for this guy. He's only given up 3 sacks total across 3 years. No one gets to the quarterback with this guy. That's exactly who I want as our tackle. Now, look, Morgan Moses leaves a massive hole for the Jets on the right-hand side. We still have not addressed it. You got guys like Jedrick Wills still out there in free agency, but I don't know if he's really giving you the warm and fuzzies as your starter moving forward. I think I would love Tyler Warren a lot. Like, I do really like that potential selection. But I think with how deep the tight end class is in this year, you can kind of afford to go tight end either in the 2nd or 3rd round. My preference, if this is the 1st-round pick, would probably be going wide receiver at the top of the 2nd and then tight end in the 3rd. Lots of different opportunities here for the New York Jets. As far as other guys and where they kind of went behind the New York Jets, Mason Graham goes number 8 to the Panthers. You have Will Campbell going 10 to the Bears. There's Tyler Warren going 14 to the Colts. And then, let's see, what else here? You've got Jackson Dart going 21 to the Steelers. Tarota McMillan going 22 to the Chargers. I think that's the farthest down I've seen him go. So maybe that's a little bit concerning if you can see him like as the number 7 pick. That's who I originally wanted for a long time. I would still be pumped if we got him, but a little concerning that he's that far down at 22. So maybe second round is the bread and butter spot for the wide receiver group here. And then, like I mentioned, Shamar Stewart, one of the top edge rushers in this class, goes 32 to the Philadelphia Eagles. And the right tackle, Armand Membu, absolutely buried him. So I like this. The guy has basically played every game throughout his collegiate career, so I like the health side of things too. I would be very happy if they just made this selection. A few different ways they can go. I like the best player available approach, and if the draft falls like this, Jets are going to have a lot of really good players to select from. I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments section. If the board falls like this, is there a position player that you're hoping the Jets get, a direction you hope they go? Are you hoping they trade down? What do you want to get in that type of trade down? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.